Last October, my wife and I arrived in Beirut to begin our new life. We were going to begin our new life working at a home for abused and abandoned children here in Beirut. Sounds like a noble cause, great idea. On my first day there, I was introduced to the girls, and the girls looked at me and they said, "Look at him. He's some gray hair. Give us 3 weeks. It will be white as snow, and he will run away screaming." Oh, thanks, welcome. Then I was introduced to the boys' floor. In the boys' floor, they would run up and, "Sasu! What is Sasu?" And I was trying to find out who just hit me in the back of the neck, and one would come up and hit me in the stomach. I didn't even know how to tell them to stop. The Arabic that I learned didn't work in Lebanon. I was really prepared. Then a few weeks later, I was sitting in a chair, and a boy came up from behind me and grabbed me and stuck a makeshift knife to my throat. Shockingly, I don't really know what to do in this situation. I grew up in the suburbs in America, so I just kind of hang tight for a minute. And he let me go, and that's how I stop. Joke. Very funny, thank you. So welcome to my new life. In my old life, my old life was good. I had a good car. I had handmade suits. We went out to eat for good food. We went on good holidays. I was a good guy. I gave money to charity. And I even liked and shared really important Facebook messages. I was an activist, a clicktivist, if you will. And I was living in Oman. I was teaching at a university, and life was good. I was good at my job. I used to be pretty good at my job. I was getting promotions, and people generally liked me. And one day my wife asked me, she says, "Is this it? Is this all that life is?" And I looked at her and said, "Yes, you are welcome. You're married to me." And she said, "I don't think so. I think maybe there's something more. I think life is not necessarily meant to be protected and saved. It's meant to be spent and given out." I looked at her and I said, "I'm sorry, you're wrong." My wife is a praying woman, and so she began praying that my mind would change. And lo and behold, it did. So I asked her, I said, "Okay, like what?" She said, "I don't care. I just want to do something good. I want to pour my life out for others." And so with that, our life began to change, except that we now had no idea what to do whatsoever. We had become a beautiful cliche. We are going to do good things for other people. No idea what it would be. So we looked at our story, our life, for some direction. First, we'd been married almost 15 years, and we had no children. So clearly one of us is not on the Champions League, but that's okay. Secondly, we really believed in education as a force of change and as a force of good. Thirdly, we loved languages. We have learned a couple. We weren't afraid of learning more. We were happy living in the Middle East. We had been here for 5 years living in Oman, and we enjoyed its idiosyncrasies and its strangeness, and we figured we could stay. Fifthly, we had been living in Oman for 5 years, and we were really excited about not being hot anymore. We began praying that, inshallah, we could see something green. Maybe a rain. But me being the very faith-filled person that I am, I didn't believe any of this was going to happen. It wasn't going to be possible. I would probably just continue teaching. But one day I was at a friend's house, and he had a guest over, and they started telling each other about this story, telling stories about this home in Beirut for children who were abused and abandoned, and that home needed help. And I was shocked. I looked at my wife, and I said, "Could this be the thing that we have been praying for?" And being great friends of Jesus, he has something to say about caring for the orphans and the widows. And we didn't know any widows. And so we said, you want to go to Beirut? And she looked at me and said, yeah, sounds great. 3 weeks later, we arrived in Beirut. And so it was this story, our past, that helped guide us, helped us make this decision on how to go about trying to do good, trying to live our lives out differently. And so what is yours? What is your past? What is the things that you have done that you want to help others do? What are the things you have done that you want others not to do, that you can help them? I really believe that your story has been given to you, your past has been given to you so that you can give it to others. And I think it will help you, as it helped us. And so we arrived in Beirut 3 weeks later, and it was everything I hoped it would be. There, you guys have trees. There's food on the tree. You can just eat it. And as we were driving, I also noticed some things that you drive a little different than I was used to. And really, there are a lot of guns here in your country. But I'm from Texas, so I thought, oh, okay, I'm going to be cool with that. And when we were driving up to the home, the director of the home started telling me stories about these children. He told me stories about 10-year-old boys being sold to pedophiles. He started telling me stories about 13-year-old prostitutes. He started telling me stories about a family of 5 that their parents just abandoned them, and they were living on the street for weeks eating garbage before someone noticed. These stories, they just sounded crazy. I couldn't believe them. Whenever I arrived at the home, I met the stories, and I saw their faces, and the scars on their face, and the burn marks from cigarettes on their arms, and they were touching me and talking to me, and there was a lot of them. And it was really overwhelming. I mean, quite honestly, it was extremely overwhelming. I had to leave. I left, and I went up to the guest home, and I sat on the couch, and I just kind of silently started crying. Very manly of me. And I wanted to run. I wanted to run away because I wanted nothing to do with this. I wanted to go back to the desert where I knew what was happening. I wanted to go back to a job that I understood, but I knew that I couldn't. I was stuck, and I hung my head, and I knew that my life had changed because I had a thing. So what is a thing? Well, a thing is the thing that gets you. A thing is the thing that is wrong with the world that should not be. For me, children should not be sold. Children should not be abandoned to the streets. Children should have parents that love them. And so, for us, we found our thing. Find your thing. I mean, look around. The world is not right. There are a lot of problems. Use your story to find out which one fits you. There is one. There are people that need you. I truly believe that we are not put here to become more beautiful, to make a better life for ourselves, just so that we can be happy, so that we can take selfies from interesting places and share them on Facebook. I want you to find your thing. And I hope that it is good. And I hope that it's so important that it's worth failing at. So for us, we found our thing. And we decided to do it. We decided now we had to live it. So I had to now go back to Oman and quit my very well-paying job to go earn no money in Beirut. This caused a bit of anxiety in me, a little anxiety. And so much so that like my face went numb at times. I'm not kidding, it went numb. I was dizzy all the time. I couldn't sleep. My stomach hurt all the time. For a year, I had to finish out my contract like this. I was not a lot of fun to be around, to be honest. And we left finally after a year and came back to Beirut to start a school for children who have never been to school. And shockingly, it's actually not that easy. We began to start this school, and I did the first thing. I said, okay, great. Children, desks, sit. We'll have a lesson. They've never sat. The children. And it was a ruckus. It was madness. if I turned around, someone, no kidding, would be stabbed with a pencil. Something might be on fire. So that failed, and I tried again. And that one failed, and I tried again, and I failed again and again. And actually, no kidding, this month I started again. And it's going to probably fail. But a very wise woman once said that God does not require your success. He only requires your faithfulness. And so this is what we're doing. We're trying. We're trying to show up. So what is your thing? And I've got great news for you. You don't have to be good at it. I'm not. You don't have to be prepared. You don't have to have studied it. You don't have to have a certificate. Just show up and try. There are hundreds and thousands of people waiting for you to just try. You don't have to be good. It doesn't have to be perfect yet. It doesn't even have to work. Just try. And I've got great news for you as well. I moved countries to a culture I knew very little of and a language I knew even less. You don't have to do that. There's a lot of things going on just right here. And actually, the day that you step into something and try, you will be better at you will be better at it than I am. Your impact will be huge because you already know the language. You already know the culture. The people who work at the home that are making great impacts, the directors, the volunteers, they're making a fantastic impact. Me, I just fumble around all day long, making mistakes, and much to the entertainment of those around me. So I want you to get your thing. Live it. Don't just complain about it on Twitter. Do something. It will be the best thing you have ever done. Pour your life out. It is amazing. And so what's the end of this story? I don't know. I hope someday my job doesn't exist. I hope that children are taken care of. There are no such things as homes of hope. I hope that the children there love education. They have a bright future. But right now that doesn't exist. And so I spend my days trying. And I get to be around some really awesome kids. And I get to entertain people with some really terrible Lebanese Arabic. So this is my story. This is my thing. What is your thing?